if you could introduce yourself and what you do at Propain.
Sure, yeah, I'm Patrick. Sorry.
Are you sure?
I think I'm Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot my title.
Are you in the market for a do-it-all 150, 160 mil eMTB that utilizes the new TQ HPR60 drive unit? Well then today, you'll enjoy learning about the new Propain Sresh SL, a bike they're calling the electrified Tyee. Let's go for the ride. So folks, we're here with Patrick, who's the marketing manager for Propain North America. Thanks for driving down from your Washington HQ and bringing us two of these new Sresh SLs. What does Sresh mean?
Absolutely nothing.
Cool.
Yep.
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to forget though, so.
It is, like,
yeah.
It kind of is like shred and sesh, like session.
Then
but...
that's what it means, man.
Okay, cool.
It's whatever it means to you, yeah.
There it is. So getting into the Sresh SL, what was sort of the design and goal for Propain behind this bike?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest motivation was creating a natural ride feel. So I think the ethos behind all of our bikes is we want folks who know how our bikes ride to say, this is like X model with a motor.
Okay.
Our Econos feel a lot like our Spindrifts, just with a motor. And for us, I feel like this is the embodiment of the Tyee with a motor on it. It's a bit lighter than the full powered Sresh, so you really get that, playful aspect that you might lose with a little bit of extra weight on a 160, 150 bike.
Okay. And so you would say that Tyee is kind of going to be the closest relative of suspension characteristics, how this bike's going to perform and feel as a whole out on the trail?
For sure, yeah. If you're a rider that's familiar with the Tyee and feels comfortable on that bike, you'll feel right at home on the Sresh SL.
So let's get into the bike, right, and talk about some of the details on this thing before it blows away. That's how light it is, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about weights first. What's this thing weigh?
So starting weight is 18.5 kilos.
Okay.
So for Americans, it's low 40s. Yeah.
All right. How many specs will be available in this bike?
So in North America, we're going to have two signature specs. The first one's going to start at $69.99 for like a decked out Marzocchi build. And then the second one will be $89.99 for a slightly higher end RockShox. That said, you can start anywhere from $59.99 all the way up to just over 10K with our custom configurator options. Okay,
and so obviously we're looking at bikes here. One's got Fox suspension, one's got RockShox. This is just all stuff that's within your customization platform?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, so these aren't exactly what our signature specs are going to be, especially this one. It's a bit more custom. But yeah, most folks choose to go the custom route. So I think it's good to showcase all the options that you can have as a customer.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty unique stuff on this. Let's touch on the brakes really quick. That's probably one of the most unique things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the trick stuff, Deratissimas, super solid brake set. Yeah, I think we may be one of the only OEMs that you can spec these brakes on right now. So if you really, really want to ball out and get like the best in the biz, it's a good option.
Okay, so moving into some of the higher level details and not the, I guess, idiosyncrasies of the customization program and models. Across the board, let's talk travel, front and rear, wheel size, and the sizes available.
Sure, yeah, so we'll start with sizes. It's pretty standard, small through XL. And with each of those, you have the option for mixed wheel or 29er. The small size is going to be just mixed wheel.
What is required in changing it from mixed to 29 if a consumer wants to do that at home?
Yeah, so just like with our new Tyee, new Spindrift, and with the Econo CF and AL, we've got the flip chip capability. So just at the top of the rear triangle, you can just change that orientation. And then even within whatever configuration, whether 29er, mixed wheel, you can even play around with that flip chip configuration and even slacken it out a bit more, just whatever you want to do. So it's pretty simple, it just takes a couple minutes just to flip that around, swap a bigger or smaller wheel in the rear. And then yeah, you can still maintain the 160 in the front, 150 in the rear.
Okay.
Yep.
So pretty capable and aggressive intended head tube angle for sure. A new word I learned, which I'm not going to pronounce right, Sitzwinkel?
Sitzwinkel.
Seat tube angle.
Yep.
Number on that one?
So effective 77
Okay.
seat tube angle. So really nice pedal position.
Okay, very good. And then we'll get into kind of chainstay and wheelbase length.
Yeah, so wheelbase on the large is 1269.
In mixed.
In mixed,
Okay.
that's correct. And then a 450 chainstay length.
Okay.
Yep.
And same chainstay across all size bikes.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. While this bike takes many of its design cues and ride feel from the Tyee, one thing that's different than the Tyee is it's not relying upon your old chicken legs here. It uses the TQ HPR60 drive unit. There are 2 battery options available. They are quickly removable, which is really nice, and we'll show you guys how that works. You've got either a 360 or a 580 watt-hour internal battery, and the option to purchase a 160 watt-hour range extender. TQ utilizes their harmonic pinion ring design on this drive unit. It's part of what makes it so small and so quiet out on the trail. Now, the power has been increased in this updated drive unit, putting out 60 Newton meters of torque, also puts out a max of 350 watts of peak power. TQ has also updated the display screen here on the top tube. This will allow you to toggle through a few different information sets. You've also got a nice sleek controller on the bar that lets you access the walk mode and your different power modes. Their app also will allow you to do some customization in information displayed and the power you get out on the trail. For the 2 Propain spec models, they will come with the 580 watt-hour battery. So if you want the 360, you'll have to purchase that through the custom program or make note when checking out. Also, if you want to buy the range extender, that is something you can do directly through Propain at checkout time. All right, so Patrick, I know you talked a little bit about this feeling and performing a lot like the Tyee. Can you tell folks what the suspension platform is called and kind of what it's about, what Propain seeks to build out of their dual suspension mountain bikes?
Yeah, so our Pro 10 suspension system is based off of 10 characteristics that we really want to see in every bike that we build. With the combined performance of a pretty stiff rear end, really responsive frame, and a relatively progressive leverage curve. So yeah, with that, you'll get a good blend of small bump sensitivity with great bottom out support.
All right, and then I would imagine due to the assistance of the drive unit, you could probably move some of those numbers around in terms of anti-squat just because you have that little bit of assist, but it'll be neat to actually see and study some of those charts and numbers a little more in detail, and of course, see how it performs on the trail, which speaking of, I won't be doing today because I got a boo-boo. I fell down, hurt my wrist. So Sour Patch is gonna pick up from here. We're gonna go out, hit the trails and see how this thing does, get it a little more dirty, so.
Fit finish of the new Sresh SL is super sleek, super sexy looking, very thin, which I like. It's very reminiscent of the Tyee, and I really like that bike as a analog bike park shredder. Patrick brought this bike down and it had a slightly shorter steer tube on it, so the stack is a little bit lower than what I would like. I'd like a little bit, 10 mils more probably. But outside of that, I'm 6'2", 475 reach is perfect. I'm super comfortable in the saddle. So the Sresh has the HPR60. It's a very compact unit. One of the things I really like is being able to see the motor watt output and the personal rider output all on the same screen. And while I was climbing, I was maxing the motor out at 355, and I think I was averaging somewhere around 270 on like the super steep climbs, and just some fun number things to look at while you're out climbing. The HPR60 is a notable improvement over the HPR50 found in some models years ago. That 60 Newton meters is just enough to get you up the steepest bits, and then 350 is optimal for like a good workout, but you quickly hit that wall. It does a good job of managing battery life. Like we've been out here for hours now and I still have 64% on this 580 watt-hour battery. And that's in boost mode almost exclusively. There was a few times where I dropped it in a trail just to kind of experiment. At first, like it doesn't feel like there's a big difference between the power modes, but on the steeper bits, there's definitely, it's noticeable that you're not getting all 350 in that trail mode or eco mode. The Pro 10 platform, I think, is one of the best climbing platform, like suspension platforms that there is on an e-bike. It allows you to put all the power down where you need it, and it's still supple enough over technical terrain that you're not getting bounced all over the place. So it does a really good job of keeping traction on that rear wheel, no matter what power mode you're in or how steep the trail is. So descending wise, yeah, we've been out here for quite a few hours. We're just now getting to the Super Tech GH. That is probably on the upper end of what a 150, 160 bike is meant for. That said, it's doing a very good job of eating up all the rocks and undulating terrain and like quick, techie slapper berms. Through the flow trails and stuff, it's just super fast and it's very planted. And you can really, even in the super loose corners, you just kind of lean it over and it hooks up and just keeps going. It's promising. I can't wait for us to get this bike back for the SL shootout. I think it's going to be a top contender in that 150, 160 category, which I think most of the SL bikes are really starting to funnel into.
Well, folks, there you have it. The Sresh SL, a bike so light, even Sour Patch can curl it. Hope you enjoyed the ride. Stay tuned. Leave any questions you have down below, and we'll be sure to consider them in our long-term review when we get this bike back for our SL shootout later this year. Thanks for coming out, Patrick. We'll see you guys out on the trails.